The Tuesday Morning Dish is powered by Young Harris Water Sports. You want to deal with people who love boats? You've come to the right place. From a new covered storage facility to boat consignment services, it's all in one place with Young Harris Water Sports.
All righty, the little red button lit up, and we're back with you, and we got the power back on. Packy has been a busy, busy boy, I guarantee it. When Packy gets into high gear, man, he is like Speedy Gonzalez.
You better get out of the way.
When I start working, you know something's wrong.
Yeah, he gets like a almost
Like, don't
urgent,
talk to me. Don't
urgent
talk.
look on his face, doesn't he?
Hey,
Wait a minute before you get political. We didn't do famous birthdays.
I didn't know no famous birthdays.
Hedy Lamarr.
Oh, who is that?
Oh, and Lou Ferrigno. Remember the original Hulk?
Yeah, Incredible Hulk.
All right, go ahead.
I've actually talked to Lou Ferrigno, and yeah. Anyway, he's a different kind of guy. I can tell you that right now. But what are we going to do?
He actually had a learning disability.
Yeah, I do too.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, we got Carl in here. This is something. And now, y'all, this is coming from man of the cloth here. We got a Texas Democrat, Matthew Dowd. He tweeted, and everybody tweets now. Yes, no, it's a tweet thing. Do you tweet?
No.
I don't tweet either. I think tweeting's for tweeties. Tweet. I talk too much to tweet. Does that make sense?
Are you making fun of tweeting, considering all the tweeting that was done?
I mean, all the
years
tweeting
ago?
going on, but anyway. He said he sat in church today, which kind of throws me off. And I was thinking that if Jesus was here today, he would be accused of being woke. All this woke movement going on. What do you think?
They probably would.
That's what he said. He said he thinks Jesus was alive today, he would be woke. He would be on the woke side.
I agree with that.
Really?
Because everybody has gone so far to the left that anything out of the norm or anything that doesn't make common sense, or especially anything that's in the Bible, they're against.
Yeah.
And that's why I said that.
So you think Jesus would be on their side?
No, they would think he's on their side. They would call him that.
Oh, I see what you're
Okay.
saying. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Because I'm thinking Jesus would have been on the love side. That y'all,
Most definitely. Yeah.
I think he'd be burning some people up myself. That's what I say.
Well,
You know?
Jesus went out intentionally and found sinners
Yeah.
and visited with sinners.
Yeah, I know that's right. And then they changed.
He'd be right here in the
And they
studio.
come on our side.
He'd be right here in the studio
They
with
come on
us.
our side. Sheesh.
you know, we're losing people going to church and church families faster than we ever have in our history.
I know that's right. I'm with you on that. But, you know, that's the thing about it. You know, it's just, you know, that's the thing they need to think about. You know, like when Moses built the ark back there, you know, everybody made fun of him. And then when the flood came, then everybody wanted on there, you know.
Moses, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And everybody wanted on there. And
And his wife, Joan of Arc.
yes, she
She
they
was in on
took
that
her
too, you know.
Did
Yeah.
you tell me that you
And
at
then
one
his
time?
boys, Sodom and Gomorrah, they went too, I think.
Did you tell me you taught Sunday school at one time?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the answer to your problem, Carl. Right here. It's right here.
What's wrong?
I teach Sunday school sometimes too.
I don't know, man. I think the world's gone crazy.
Well, everybody that's on this climate change, yeah, I'm gonna get political. You get me going, Stephen. I'll do this all day.
Man, I ain't afraid of nothing.
I ain't either.
Yeah.
I get kind of outspoken.
I think this is called weather myself, you know, with the climate stuff going on.
It is.
Yeah.
We've always had trends in weather all the way through history, but I tell you what, when the rapture comes and God burns this earth up
Yeah.
for a new earth, you think they're going to have climate. They talk about climate change. They're going to get climate change.
But no, I've been calling all my buddies, you know, when they hear that trumpet to call me or text me or something because I don't want to miss it, you know, just in case. So, I mean, Carl, if you hear that trumpet, text me. Say, hey,
All your righteous buddies, right?
I don't want to walk out in the yard and everybody gone. I'm like, what the heck?
You better pick and choose which buddies you call because there's chances are some of them aren't going to hear it either.
Sounds kind of nice though. If we had like the tides coming in, you know, up here in the mountains, we'd have mountains, palm trees, oceans. We'd have
Oh, I'd be
everything
cool
here,
with
man.
that.
We'll be set. Like, we'll
Yeah,
be
if we
good.
had like
Yeah.
the raising of the ocean, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. Buy me one of them boats.
I just think we need, if we want to solve it, let's do more electric cars because we need more lithium mines.
You know, here's the thing, man.
That'll be good.
They want people to have all these plug-in stations to charge these electric cars, and they want us to pay for it. But I don't know, but two people in my whole circle of friends that even owns an electric car.
And one of them's Harry.
And one of them's Harry. Well, he's got that Prius, but
well,
I mean,
he's got two Priuses, or he did, so you know.
So I mean, why would we want to build all this stuff?
That is the thing, though. How many charging stations? I don't know of any charging stations in Murphy
Yeah.
other than over by the casino.
Well, there's a few out there somewhere,
And
which is kind of handy when you're driving the bandwagon because you can actually jump it off because my battery dies on my car, and you can use that to jump your battery off. But
Well,
like I
you
said,
know,
I don't know that many people driving them things.
I don't either. You know, I can see it in big cities where there'd be an advantage and less pollution. But out here where we live, rural,
No, ain't no way. And that's
man,
like,
give me my V8 and let my pipes roar.
yeah, we had Paul Tuttle over there the other day, talking about Harleys. And he said, I ain't riding one of them electric things. I want to hear that rumble. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, if they shut down that Michigan pipeline, which is what they're talking
may
about
not hear
doing,
anything.
you may not have any fuel to worry about.
That's right.
Hey,
Well, then
don't worry.
we can shut all the pipelines down and then bag OPEC for more oil. That's
Let
a
me
good
tell you
idea.
something about us.
Well, they're
Southern-
talking about
That's
shutting.
helping.
They're actually there's discussion of shutting that pipeline down. That's major.
Let me tell y'all something. We'll burn moonshine. Now, the only problem with burning moonshine is it's hard to hold your car in between the ditches because it gets that wobbling feeling. You know what I'm saying? But I'm burning moonshine. I ain't got to have gasoline. I can do it myself. 140, 200 proof moonshine burns better than gasoline anyway.
Where are you gonna get that much moonshine?
Hey, I got this buddy of mine over here in Blairsville named Tommy. He actually has moonshine still.
They are still around, believe me.
Yeah, that's it.
Tusqueedy's got them up in there.
Yeah. I reckon F on the Shelf, man. We've actually had a judge banned F on the Shelf. Thank goodness
Not
for this.
for real.
Yeah.
No, that's cute.
I think it's a good idea though. Poor old F on the Shelf.
What's wrong with Elf on the Shelf?
He's peeps on everybody and tells. He's a tattletale. We don't like tattletales. Ain't that it though? When you was in school, every time you got into something, there's always some tattletale. I don't know what they call them now. Isn't that tattletale?
We
or-
may not want to know what they call them now.
Yeah, narcs or whatever. I don't know. But always one.
Somebody was talking on Fox the other morning that couldn't afford turkeys this year, and they just gonna go get Big Bird and roast it.
There you go. I didn't say a shortage on turkeys, ain't there? I mean,
There's not a shortage of them running
let me
around the
ask you
fields
a
of my
question.
house. There's a ton
What?
of them out there.
Do they ship these from China? Does these turkeys come from China, or what's the deal with
That's
turkeys?
not the. That's not.
I thought they were made in America.
I guess
What's
we
the
just
reason?
didn't have a turkey. Well, just like you can't get Christmas trees this year. We can't for Rotary. We can't get any trees to sell.
Well, part of the bill that was passed,
Supply
like the
chain.
climate bill, it's like farmers. If you own cows, you have to pay a fine, a tax, a climate
Yeah, they
tax
wanted to
for
add that
every
to
head
it.
of cattle that you have.
And it's like, it's like $1,200, $1,500 bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, per cow.
So no fuel, and you're going to have to be vegan soon, Stephen.
ain't
How's
go-
that going to work for you?
I got potted meat, baby. Potted meat.
You just wait till they come after the potted
You
meat.
might,
First,
you
they
might
come after
really
the
get in
other
good
people.
physical shape going vegan. You might be all svelte looking.
I'm in physical good shape.
Oh.
You just can't tell it because I got it covered up.
And you cover it well.
Yeah, I do. Look at that baby face. We got skinny people. They all wrinkled up. You know what I'm saying? This is
talking
like
about
built-in
me?
Botox.
You talking about me?
Built-in Botox. Hey, we got Dion on. Is he on?
Yep, he's on there. Wait
Hey,
for
we
us.
got Dion, man. This is pretty cool. This guy kind of got bumped into him, and he works for Fox News. And that's kind of like us. They're fair and balanced, and we unfair and unbalanced. But anyway, he's got some books coming out. He's been working for Fox News for
They say we report, you decide. We say we report, you sigh.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey, we got a couple books out. He was in this last movie there with John Snyder with that stand on it. Did you ever watch that? You didn't watch that? Well,
Sorry, I'm a little busy.
Oh, well. Let's go ahead and get to a short break, and we'll bring him in here and see what's going on.
Young Harris Water Sports says it may be Tuesday, but on the lake, every day's the weekend. Young Harris Water Sports is ranked #1 in customer service and boasts the #1 full marine service department in the mountain area. So make it the best Tuesday ever at Young Harris Water Sports.
All righty, folks, we're back with you, and I'm telling you, we got a big wig on with us today. He's an author and actor. He works with Fox News. I think he actually owns Fox News. Dion Baia. Good morning. How are you, brother?
How are you, sir?
Man,
How's everything?
We're in North Georgia and not in you're in New York City, right?
Yeah, I'm just outside of it, Westchester, which is about 20 miles south. So maybe about 20 minutes north of New York City.
I am so sorry, man.
Well, hey, say your name for Stephen because he's been struggling for about 30 minutes.
Dion like the Belmonts and Baia like you want to go buy a
see.
car.
There you
So
go.
I always say, I'm a wanderer and keep away from Sue.
Yeah. Now you work with Fox News. That is so funny. That it's pretty big to me. Actually, the other day you actually had the Five talk about your brand new book that's coming out. That's a pretty heavy hitting deal there.
Yeah. It's I've been there. Geez, it's going on 20 years now, since 2002. So I've gotten to know everybody there, and I was able to put a book out in June, and I was able to get it on the 5. Geraldo held it up, and some people didn't want to buy it because it was Geraldo holding it up, and I was like, oh man. But yeah, it's great. I've been there for a very long time, gotten to know everybody there, good friends with people, and that's kind of helped me publish the 2 books I had, which were originally screenplays, and also got me into the 2 John Schneider films, Stand On It, and then the upcoming sequel, Poker Run, that's coming out June 26th.
Yeah. Now I actually watched Stand on It, and now that I see you, I realize that I was supposed to be Sonny.
Yeah, that's what you said. And I said, oh,
Yeah.
and you said, oh, I was supposed to play this guy Sonny in it. Who are you? And I was like, and I was working while we were texting last night, so that was why you had that long pregnant pause. And then I looked down and I said, "Oh crap!" And I said, "I played Sonny, so I'm sorry. I might have been your replacement."
Yeah,
and then I didn't
kick me off.
you for an hour. I was like, "Oh geez."
That's my claim to fame, but I never made it. But what are you gonna do?
That's
That's
probably
all
why
right.
the movie's been a success, though. To be honest,
I'm gonna tell you, no kidding, man. You done a great job. And
Oh, well, thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you.
Sonny. This movie, if y'all not seen Stand On, it's actually based loosely on Smokey and the Bandit, and you were the
Yeah.
son. You were the guy that held the hat.
Yeah, I was the Jackie Gleason sheriff's dim-witted son, Sonny, in it, and it's kind of John Schneider's homage to Smokey and the Bandit. His first role ever he was an extra in Smokey and the Bandit at the very end, when Jackie Gleason, pulls out at the final scene and goes after them when they're heading up to Boston, and the tire goes off. If you watch in the credits, the tire goes and hits John Schneider in the shin.
Yeah.
And that gave him the acting bug. And then within a year or two, he auditioned and got Dukes of Hazzard, and the rest from there is history.
Yeah.
So he's always been that's always been his huge opus, is that Smokey and the Bandit. And he always wanted to recreate that. So finally, he wrote something, and we did that in 2020, the year of the virus.
Right.
So,
and now you got
yeah.
the new movie coming out. It's Poker Run. It's kind of. I mean, what's your part? Are you the same character, or what's your part in that?
Yeah, this is like Halloween to Halloween 2. It takes place seconds after, where the first stand on it has just ended, and we're still running away, and it starts again. And this is kind of an homage to Cannonball Run, or if people remember Gator McCluskey,
Oh yeah.
the Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed movie, the sequel from White Lightning. This movie's kind of a tribute to Smokey and the Bandit, to Cannonball Run, and of course to Gator.
Right.
So and John even got a boat that looks like Burt Reynolds' Gator's boat in the movie to be in this movie. So that was pretty exciting as well.
Well, now tell us about your books. I mean, you've got a couple of books that are on Audible, which means I get to read them. So.
Yeah, I went to film school, and I've always wanted to act and direct and stuff like that. And I wrote a couple screenplays, and then I got a job at Fox and as an audio guy. So my day job is to be on the technical side and mic people up, and when they come into the studios. And I couldn't get my screenplays into the right hands, maybe because I was working in TV news. And then somebody said to me, "Why don't you turn them into books? You might have a better way of getting them out there." So I turned both of them into books in 2018. I had one called Blood in the Streets come out, which is basically a 70s cop movie.
Right.
And it has some Doors references of people like classic rock and stuff like that. It takes place right in a week in 1976. If you're a Dirty Harry, French Connection, Jack, Bullet fan, and if you like thrillers or historical fiction, you'll like Blood in the Streets. And then this one I put out in June is called Moore's P.I., The Men from Ice House 4. And it's basically like an Indiana Jones meets kind of like a LA Confidential or Dick Tracy or Tim Burton's Batman. It's kind of like a Indiana Jones for the 21st century, 40s private detective who uncovers a big Nazi plot at the end of World War II of them trying to get their loot from Europe to South America by way of New York City. So it's basically your, private detective film noir kind of, hard-boiled detective kind of affair.
Well, now you talk about this, your books based on these old private detectives and all these old. I find myself at night when I'm trying to find something on TV. I always go back to the '70s movies. I'm a Rockford Files nut. I love Rockford Files.
Sure.
And there's nothing on TV.
Well, like all the Dirty Harry movies, Clint Eastwood
Honestly
knocked it out of the park with those movies.
Yeah, he's my idol. And the Blood in the Streets, that first script that I turned into a book was really an homage to his Dirty Harry films. And I completely agree with you, Stephen. I've kind of turned off of modern movies, music for the most part, and TV shows. And my wife and I, all we do is we go back and watch the old stuff because it's kind of new to us.
Well,
so we're huge cinemaphiles. And nowadays with television, I mean, even if you have an antenna, you're able to see they play all these great movies and great shows now because a lot of these channels are emptying out their vaults, and they're having like, these channels that are all like retrospective kind of channels, or
Right.
so you're able to see all this. It's great that all this stuff is finally airing again, so you can watch anything from Jack Benny to Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea to like Kojak to Rockford Files, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm
And
with
that's
you.
what's really fun. And a lot of people, I'm always trying to promote that stuff. Like, I never watched Cagney and Lacey growing up, but now I'm a huge Cagney and Lacey fan, and I tell my friends at work, I'm like, these stories and episodes are just as good as when they came out back then in Rockford Files. And then when you watch it, you'll say, oh my gosh, it's just like today.
Yeah.
A lot of these stories are just, you could put them in today's politics or today's world and they work just the same.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a cyclical kind of story industry in line, which is very fascinating and hugely entertaining. And it blows a lot out of everything I watch nowadays. I mean, all the
there's nothing
Marvel
else.
stuff.
You start watching a movie and you just sit there and wait for the end, hoping something's going to happen. And it's like, gosh, I just wasted an hour of my life for no reason whatsoever.
Well, it's like the binge watching people are doing on these series. Is the first maybe episode or two, oh, this is pretty good, I could get into this. And then you find yourself just like, why am I even watching this garbage?
Yeah, I found that with The Walking Dead. I watched about 2 or 3 seasons of that. It was like almost daring me to stop watching. And I was like, I don't know why I'm still
Why am I
watching
still
these
here?
things. And yeah, and you get that too. A lot of times you'll start watching them, and nowadays the sad thing for a filmmaker or a storyteller is the audience is so educated. You can't do the same things you used to do because people will say it's cliche. So it's kind of hard to do an original story without doing something we've seen 1,000 times before and do it still interesting.
Right.
So sadly nowadays, really these really big budget movies, are effective and kind of end up being hits because Hollywood needs to be able to hit the domestic box office and the international box office of a place like China because they need those box office receipts. So it's a really sad world we live in now, where I think it's almost like the end of an era. How people used to go to Broadway or people used to go to see vaudeville or something like that. I feel like that's now changing now with theaters and us going home and watching TV now on your couch. So I think we're in the middle of a cosmic shift, and I don't know where it's going to go, but hopefully it's good for a filmmaker or storyteller.
Yeah. Let me say again, we're talking to Dion Baia, which is a famous movie star. I
wish.
Works for Fox News and got 2 books out right now. Now tell us the name of the books one more time where we'll know.
First one's Blood in the Streets. You can find that on Amazon, and that's in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. And then the new one is Morris P.I., which you can also find on Amazon or any place you buy books, both of them. And that's also paperback, audiobook, and ebook as well, depending on how you digest your entertainment fiction these days.
Well, now was you raised in New York, or where are you from?
I'm from Connecticut. I'm from Gunwave in New Haven. And that's actually where my first book, Blood in the Streets, takes place, in New Haven. That's a reference to the Doors song Peace Frog,
right,
where they say blood in the streets of the town of New Haven because he got arrested, Jim Morrison, on stage
right,
during a performance. And so my book kind of hits on that. The cop in the book meets Morrison, and then they become friends in the book. And I was raised in Connecticut, and then when I got a job in New York City, it was a 2-hour commute each way on the train, so it just teaches you how to drink quickly. So I ended up moving. After 2 years, I moved closer just to be able to get in and out of the city. So that's why I'm on the outskirts. And I've always been a fan of not living there because it's just too expensive, too much. And I never wanted to be landlocked in the sense of like when 9/11 happened, they closed the whole island down, and I want to be able to get out if you need to. So I'd rather walk off and go to my house and my belongings, which are not on the island of Manhattan, in case something happens. And I'm always trying to be a preparedness or a prepper.
Oh yeah, man, you got to do that. Well, I'd like to come up there to New York. You got an extra bedroom for?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a 2-bedroom. Yeah, that's why we moved to a bigger place. My wife's English, so when my in-laws come from England, we have places for them to stay. So sure, yeah, you can come on up and do the show remotely from Westchester, New York, close to where John Schneider's from. He was born and raised in Mount Kisco before he moved down to Atlanta when he was in high school.
Yeah, you need to get down here too. Get some of this good fresh air.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to the Georgia area, funny enough. So I need to rectify that. I hear it's great down there.
We're the next county over is where they shot the movie Deliverance. So I'm just going to leave that at that.
Ooh, you shoot who got a purty mouth.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. So now, how do you like working with Fox News? I mean, you've got a lot going on. I mean, that seems like a very cool gig.
Yeah, I love it. I've been doing. I mean, times fly. I can't believe I graduated college and got a job almost right out of college, and it's amazing how quick time flies. So I love it. I love the people there. I love seeing people. I love being a fly on the wall for a lot of the conversations. I'm kind of the audio guy, so like if you watch any of the special coverage or you end up watching any of the election stuff, I'm the guy that's miking up the anchors before they come into the studio. So I'm in charge of that with other people. So it can get a little stressful in certain high volume situations where a lot of people will be watching, but it's fun. And then Neil Cavuto, who was on the show, the channel, started putting me on some years ago because I was the demand it guy, where he was trying to push Fox Business. If you don't get Fox Business, call your local cable company and demand it. So I became the guy who would yell, "Demand it," and I became the demand it guy. So
come on, do the demanded again. Do it one more time. Let's see.
You just say demand it. If you don't get Fox Business, they yell and you yell back, demand it.
Yeah.
So, I've been lucky enough to be able to get on their air for the past maybe 10 years or so, which is fun. And then that's morphed into, meeting Tyrus, another Fox personality there. And he got me the connection to John Schneider because him and I became friends. And then he mentioned threw my hat in the ring to do, I guess, replace you as Sonny and stand on it, which was horribly terrible.
Yeah, I could have done so much better.
You could have been somebody. Yeah. It could have been. It was your big break.
Well, does the character die in the movie?
No.
Steven couldn't do it.
No, not that I know of. Not yet. No, not that
that'll be my part.
Steven's only done death scenes so far.
Now, this Tyrus that you're friends with, how big is this guy? He looks like he's like 10 foot tall, man. He is.
Yeah,
huge.
he's about 6'7", and I'm not good with weight, but he weighs a lot more than me, And what I learned early on is, I would go out with him, and my wife's like, "You can't drink him, drink for drink." And I used to be a pretty good drinker, and I'm like, "Oh, that's malarkey. I mean, I'm not going to do that." And then I get there, and then I drink for drink with him, and then it would just be too much. So he's a great guy. I mean, he still wrestles.
He's a pro wrestler, right?
Yeah, he was in the WWE. He's the NWA champion currently right now. I forget what his specific title is. So, and then he's had an amazing life too. He bodyguarded for Snoop Dogg, so he's been in that world a lot, and it's he was on the other side of the curtain, kind of being crowd control for shows and stuff like that, or at bouncing at bars, and then he ended up getting into professional wrestling and had a huge career in professional wrestling as Tyrus, or he had a couple other names too that people know him from, and then he was able to segue and become a Fox personality, talking head. And he's amazing. He's such a great guy, and he's really funny. He's very smart, and it's great to have. I'm sure you guys know. It's really nice to meet people who are actually nice behind the scenes too. Yeah. And that's always tough if you work in this business, that you meet an idol, and then it always becomes that big question: is do you want to go meet them, and then do you want your dreams to be ruined if they're not nice people, or if they are, so you always take that gamble. So, and Tyrus he's an amazing guy, and most everybody else at Fox is, which is great. It really.
And
helps
plus,
out.
if you're walking the streets in New York, who better to walk with? My gosh.
Oh yeah, man.
Yes. I've been to certain situations with him where I walk along with him, and I just feel like I'm a little kid at a parade.
Yeah.
I'm like,
which way do we go, George?
I'm
gonna tell you about this drinking game you're talking about. When I come up here, I'm gonna bring Packy, because his formula back when he was born was Bud Light. So I think.
Wow. Right off the bat. Yeah. It always seems like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't always end up that way. So what can you do?
Now this movie, when is it supposed to be out? This
Poker Run.
November 26th. John's calling it Orange Friday for the General Lee. So November 26th, day after Thanksgiving, and it'll be available on JohnSchneiderStudios.com, and it'll also be available CineflixDOD.com. So you can buy a copy of the DVD or stream it from CineflixDOD.com or John Schneider Studios, because he wants to not give an Amazon or Netflix a cut of the deal. They
take all the money, man.
Yeah, and in this business, you have to be able to recoup some of the money you put into it, so you're able to do other stuff. And a lot of those, if you're not a big time, studio movie, it's really not cost effective a lot of times to put it on Amazon or put it on a Netflix just to have them slap their logo on the front of it, and then you're not able to recoup any of your earnings. So this is a good way to kind of not get the big companies get a cut of your of his movie, and at the same time get it out to everybody and have it either be streaming for people, or you can, snail mail and get yourself a signed copy of the DVD, which is great too.
We have got to get to a break. I got to ask you one more question before we go, though, because, I mean, you've been running around John Snyder and the General Lee and all that kind of stuff. What kind of car do you drive?
What kind of car do I drive? I drive a Mazda CX-5.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
You didn't say he didn't say Prius, Stephen.
Yeah, no. My first car was a Chrysler Fifth Avenue. I wanted a
now
Cadillac.
you're cooking.
My dad was like, it was a 1987 Fifth Avenue. My dad was like, well, this is the closest thing you're going to get to a Cadillac. And that thing was, when you take it on the highway and go about 85 miles an hour, the whole car would start shaking.
Yeah.
And, I'd have the cigarette with the ashtray, I keep changing, and it'd go when it was getting fast. So now I drive a Mazda, because in this area of the country, you kind of need an SUV when it snows a lot and stuff like that. You really can't have a rear wheel sedan.
That's the only thing about these new cars, though. Back, like my cars I drive, there's an ashtray in every door. I mean, there's one on the dash, there's one in the door.
Yeah,
these new cars, they don't even got ashtrays.
You miss the old days, huh? With the bench seating, and then taking the turns really hard and sliding across, and not wearing seatbelts and all that kind of thing. It's having a nice station wagon and all that. It's times have changed. And everything's plastic now too. It's just so sad. Like, these cars don't have it. I can't see 20 years from now, you calling your friend up saying, hey, I just got a good deal on a vintage Mazda CX-5, or a Prius, who's going to be, and you're going to watch Meekums and like, entering the floor is the new 2004 Prius, totally restored.
I was just going to say, there's a better chance of the Mazda than the Prius being a collector's item.
Yeah, just when you think about it, just all these modern cars, I can't see anybody being like, oh, I got myself a brand new hybrid,
muscle car there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dion, we appreciate you, man. We have got to get to.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so very much for your time.
We get you back on. Yeah, we keep up with you, and I said,
thank you very much.
Yeah, you have a good day, and like I said, we go check out his books, and we have, like I said, got to get
movies.
And man, you're a great guy, no doubt about it. And like I said, I do.
Well, thank you, and then thank you so much for taking the time and having me on your great show. Thank you, thank you, everybody. Have a great morning, glorious morning.
The Morning Dish. The Tuesday Morning Dish is powered by Young Harris Water Sports. You want to deal with people who love boats? You've come to the right place. From a new covered storage facility to boat consignment services, it's all in one place with Young Harris Water Sports.
All righty, folks, we're back with you, and I got some sad news. We didn't even talk about this. I hope I'm saying this right, but Terrence Wilson, the longtime member of UB40, passed away at 64 years old, unexpected.
I hadn't even thought about that band in a long time.
Red wine.
Yeah. You know what a UB40, you know what that stood for?
No, I have no idea.
Where they're from, Jamaica, wherever they're from, that is the number for an unemployment form, I think.
It's British.
Well, that's the UB40 is an unemployment form. They all were unemployed when they started the band, I think.
Did they have any other songs other than Red, which was a remake? Wasn't Red Wine?
It was a remake.
From
they had a lot of music. I haven't listened to them in so long I couldn't speak to it.
I was like, but I don't know. I forgot about Red. I don't know what else they had. Other songs they had.
You'll have to look that up.
And we're listening. All these guys that we listen to are passing away. What we got?
It's been a tragic last couple of years. I mean, losing Tom Petty and.
God, I know it.
Oh my gosh, the one we were talking about the other day.
Tom Gray?
Buddy Guy?
Yeah. Buddy Guy? No.
No, it wasn't Buddy Guy. Who was it that died that was a big
Tom
deal?
Gray passed away.
There's been a bunch of them. It's been sad.
And we still got Luke Bryan.
Mr. Watt.
We still got Luke Bryan.
Who?
Mr. Watt.
Mr. Watt.
I call him Watt. Mr. From the Stones, the drummer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now you said that, I can't remember his name. It's hitting me.
That's why I said Mr.
Yeah.
Charlie.
There you go. Charlie Watts.
Thank you, Packy.
Packy got that. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Good job.
Got one.
Glad.
See, I'm not sleeping.
I thought you only knew the boy bands. I'm sorry, Packy.
Yeah, Nick Jonas. But yeah. I got it, though.
There you go. I don't know. Hey, we got a Grateful Dead T-shirt auctioned off for $17,640.
They never even had a hit song.
The Grateful Dead?
Never had a
I
hit.
mean, actually, after the Grateful Dead quit smoking weed and doing all them drugs, they said, gosh, we're terrible.
I don't think that's how that went. But.
Actually listen to their own music like, we're awful. I don't know, man. There's some nasty people.
You know who's playing with the Grateful Dead, or was, a year or two ago, because I saw the tickets up there. It was John Mayer.
Really?
John Mayer was going around playing, with the Grateful Dead. He was, I guess they were his, or some of the people, the ones that were still alive, were just backing him up,
I did not know that. What song did John Mayer do?
Your Body is a Wonderland. You don't like that one?
I don't think so.
You don't listen
Did
to that?
Waylon ever cut
you
that?
You don't listen to that when you're at home
Body's
alone?
a jungle, so he doesn't know anything about
Welcome to the jungle.
This is a G-rated program.
Oh,
This is true.
and you can actually, or Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you remember that? Remember Nightmare?
Yeah, I didn't like those.
You can. The house is listed right now for $3.25 million, so you can buy you the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Those were
That
the
was Johnny.
corniest movies.
That was actually Johnny Depp's first movie.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Was it?
Yeah,
That's the one with the slasher dude, right?
yeah, with the claws, fingers.
I'm actually trying to get him on, the slasher dude on. He's still alive and kicking.
Yeah,
Really?
he's still doing movies.
That was such a scary movie back when we were
It was
kids.
horrible. It was horrible. I hated it,
Blood and guts.
Do y'all like scary movies? I mean, do
especially
y'all-
when Johnny Depp died. You know that was.
I like the
tragic.
psychological thrillers. You
Me
know?
too.
Yeah, like
too.
the Shutter Island was a cool movie. I
That
like
was.
that. I like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
type of movie.
Skeleton
but
Key. Did you
just
see that?
blood and gore. I mean, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
Zombies though. Zombies are cool.
I don't understand that. You know, like, what is that thing he was talking about he watched that was shot down here in Georgia where
The Walking Dead.
I mean, honestly.
No.
Some people
man.
really got into it.
I mean,
Some
it's
people
like
really
they
did.
can't run. It's like, help me. And these things can't even walk. I mean, you can walk faster than they can, and they fall down, and
Oh,
they
no.
get eaten.
The zombie movie with Brad Pitt, was it World War Z?
Mm-hmm.
Those zombies could move.
I Am Legend was cool.
Yeah.
I actually like
Those
that one, the Will
zombies
Smith
could.
one.
That was scary.
I like Will Smith.
It was scary.
That's probably
movie.
the scariest movie I've ever seen.
It
though.
was scary.
Which one? I like the one where the head spins.
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That
That's
was
going back
different
a
at the time.
Yeah, it was scary.
What is it Beetlejuice
Was.
said? I watched The Exorcist 5 times, and I found it funny every other time. Every single
Every
time.
single time. I think I'm qualified.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey.
those
Beetlejuice
zombies,
was
those
a cool
zombies
movie.
could run if Bigfoot got after
Hey,
them.
before we run out of time, you with your worthless information on T-shirts and stuff, I want to remind people we're doing a blanket and coat drive to benefit the foster children. Drop-off locations are my office, Cherokee County Chamber of Commerce. You can take it over to the DSS office, Cherokee County DSS. Edward Jones, Christy Standish, and Mike Gilliam Insurance Agency are asking you to bring new blankets and new or gently used winter coats. So for the kids.
Just buy them some new ones. Come on, they'll be cheap.
I agree, but you
cheap
know,
out
if you've
there.
got some good used coats that are clean, we'll take those too. And I'm all dressed up today.
Yes, you are.
I'm going
We
to.
thought it was because you was on camera now.
No. It wouldn't do any good to dress up sitting next to you.
Yeah. I'm just glad
No,
you got your teeth in.
I got invited. Shut your. At least my teeth are real.
Oh. Where
The
you
Bob
going?
and Carol Head Scholarship Campaign's happening at Crane Creek Vineyards tonight, and I'm attending.
Who's all going? Can anybody come?
Not you.
Folks,
Y'all have a good day.
we will be back tomorrow bright and early, I guarantee it. We got a guy from Nashville that is connected with all the yeehaws up there. Had a big event going on where he raised money to build a house for the veterans, which is a big deal. So I'm excited about talking to him tomorrow. And we appreciate Dion Baia. Go check him out. He has got some cool books out there, and we will be back tomorrow. Thank you, Carl.
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all
Thank you
take
for
care.
having me.
W249 DP and WJULAM, Hiawassee. Well, look here. Guess who's number one in the Nielsen ratings again?
K 97.7.